A reading from the Gospel according to John, chapter 8, beginning at the first verse. Then everyone went home, but Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. Early the next morning, he went back to the temple. All the people gathered around him, and he sat down and began to teach them. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman who had been caught with adultery. And they made her stand before them all. "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. In our law, Moses commanded that such a woman must be stoned to death. Now, what do you say?" They said this to trap Jesus so that they could accuse him. But he bent over and wrote on the ground with his finger. As they stood there asking him questions, he straightened himself up and said to them, "Whichever one of you has committed no sin may throw the first stone at her." Then he bent over again and wrote on the ground. When they heard this, they all left, one by one, the older one first. Jesus was left alone with the woman still standing there. He straightened himself up and said to her, "Where are they? Is there no one left to condemn you?" "No one, sir," she answered. "Well then," Jesus said, "I do not condemn you either. Go, but do not sin again." This is the gospel of Christ. And so as we reflect on this reading on this Thursday, as we come before God, standing together with women who are abused, women who are hurt, who are insulted by the many stones that are thrown at them. They are injured mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Maybe you are that woman this evening. Are you willing to come to the feet of Jesus? Or are you feeling too rejected, too alone, too cold? Let us just pause as we bring ourselves before Jesus, wounded, rejected, and abused. And so, as we return, we are reminded too of those who have thrown the stones at the women who are hurt, injured, rejected, and wounded. Let us bring those hurting in our society who throw the stones, continually inflicting pain, inflicting hurt, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Those who hurt intentionally, and those who are not even aware of the hurt that they are inflicting. Let us bring them with their stones and place them before the cross. Let us bring them to Jesus. Indeed, so we have come to the foot of the cross. And it's wonderful because now we can give thanks at the foot of the cross. We can give thanks for our restoration. We can give thanks that we are no longer feeling rejected. We can give thanks that we are no longer out in the cold. We can give thanks that those stones we can use to build new relationships. Those stones we can use to build places of comfort and safety for the women who are abused, the women who are injured, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Let us come to Jesus, the great restorer, the one who restores us, the one who is full of compassion, and the one who reminds us in our restoration to be repentant. Go then and sin no more.
You said you'd come and share all my sorrows. You said you'd be here for all my tomorrows. I came so close to sending you away, but just like you promised, you came here to stay. I just had to pray. And Jesus said, come to the water, stand by my side. I know you are thirsty, you won't be denied. I felt every tear drop when in darkness you cried. And I chose to remind you that for those tears I died. Your goodness so great, I can't understand. And dear Lord, I know it's all in your hand. I know you're here now and always will be. Your love loosed my chains, and in you I'm free. But Jesus, why me? And Jesus said, come to the water, stand by my side. I know you are thirsty, you won't be denied. I felt every tear drop when in darkness you cried. And I chose to remind you that for those tears I died. Jesus, I give you my heart and my soul. I know that without God I'll never be whole. Savior, you opened all the right doors, and I thank you and I praise you from earth's humble shores. Take me, I'm yours. And Jesus said, come to the water, stand by my side. I know you are thirsty, you won't be denied. I felt every tear drop when in darkness you cried. And I chose to remind you that for those tears I died. And I chose to remind you that for those tears I died.